Let's look at solving this equation. And this is a little bit different than our previous ones for a few reasons. The first one is we have it not equal to 0. But the second is, do you see how this is x cubed? This means this is not a quadratic. This is actually a cubic. And we are still going to solve this using factoring because we have 3 terms here, and you can see all of our terms have x in them. So let's do our first step. Our first step of solving this would be setting it equal to 0. And we're going to do that by moving our negative 4x squared over by adding on both sides. Now again, remember, this is not going to combine with anything on the left side because all of these are different terms. And none of them are like because they're not raised to the same exponent for the variable. Which means when I rewrite this, I probably need to go ahead and write this in descending order, which means starting with the x cubed, then the x squared, and then the x. So that's going to give us 7x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x, and that gives us our equal 0 that we're looking for here. Now, later in this course, you're going to see how to do factoring a cubic when we have 4 terms and a constant that we tack on here. But here, we can use our previously known factoring methods. And so, again, you notice that all 3 of these terms have an x in them. That is a common, greatest common factor, or GCF, that we can factor out first. So we're going to take just an x out of this whole thing. That means you're dividing each one of these by x, and that's going to give us 7x squared plus 4x minus 3 equals 0. And very much like we talked about with this, with just factoring and not solving, we need this x. That's part of the answer. That's going to be part of our factors. So we're going to bring this down, and then we're going to go through the process of factoring just our trinomial inside here, okay? So we know our final answer with that trinomial is going to have our 2 parentheses, and we know we're going to bring down the equal 0. So you can kind of go ahead and set up the format for the answer. Most importantly, though, don't forget the x, because that is a common place where students mess up. Let's go through the process of factoring this 7x squared plus 4x minus 3, and those are the numbers we're using for our a, b, c. Don't go back and look at our original problem. So our a in this problem is 7, so this is going to be 7. Our c in this problem is negative 3, so 7 times negative 3 gives us negative 21. We are trying to figure out what multiplies to negative 21 and adds to b, and b in this problem is positive 4. Okay, so we have talked about how to factor or list the factors of 21 before. This one is going to be 1 and 21, and then 3 and 7. And 3 and 7 clearly is going to be our pair that gives us 4. What will our signs be, though? So we've got a negative 21. That tells me that my signs are different. Okay, then the bigger number is going to get the sign of B. Our sign of B here is positive, so our bigger number gets the positive, and because these two are different, that means the 3 gets the negative. Okay, so now we're going back over to the problem. We have 7x squared, and then we have negative 3x, and then plus 7x, so these are our 2 blanks that we normally put in there, minus 3. And you can put the equal 0 or not. I'm not going to because we have it kind of at the bottom. Now we're factoring by grouping. So we're going to group the first 2 and group the second 2. In the first group, what do we have in common? Well, in this factoring, you're always going to have an x in common, but 7 and 3 really don't have anything in common. So it would just be x. And we're going to divide by x on both these terms to figure out our factor here. So this is going to be 7x minus 3. Those x's cancel. And then in our second group, we have 7 and 3. Again, nothing in common other than really just 1. And normally I say don't put the 1, but here it's kind of nice to see it. So we're going to put the 1 here. And remember that an x does not come out here because only the 7x has an x in it. The 3 does not. All right. So really, if I divide it by 1, I'm just getting out the same thing. This is 7x minus 3. Okay. Now we're able to write this as our 2 factors. So this is going to be x plus 1 and then our common factor here of 7x minus 3. And now we have fully factored form here. So if I said factor, this is going to be my answer. But again, this is an equation equal to 0, so we're now setting each factor containing a variable equal to 0. That includes this x. So this x has to be set equal to 0 as well, and you're getting 0 out of this. And so if you saw my previous video, that's one of the reasons why we talked about if you have an x sitting out front, what do you do with it? Well, this is going to give us an answer of 0. Here, we're going to set that equal to 0, and then obviously this 7x minus 3 equals 0 as well. So subtract 1 gives us an answer of negative 1. Add 3. That's 7x equals 3. Divide by 7. And x equals 3/7. So our three answers are going to be 0, negative 1, 3/7. That will be our three solutions. And again, this isn't a quadratic, although we're in our kind of factoring unit. So this is actually a cubic, though, because you started out with x cubed as your highest exponent on the variable. And so that means that you're going to get up to 3 answers. Typically 3 answers, but not always. But in this case, we do. So again, just don't forget to include the 0 in the answer. Otherwise, you're going to miss some points there.